before I get into the timeline, I do want to go into the compound interest calculator here. I know a lot of you guys may be watching this video for the first time. You've been to my website to download these spreadsheets, so you kind of have an idea how much you're investing and how much it's going to grow, right? Growing your investments are never always guaranteed. Anyway, let's go back to the investment strategy for retirement. And investing in your 401k or any other employer-sponsored retirement account is extremely important. So the sooner you start investing in your 401k, the more it's going to grow 20, 30, or 40 years from now, right? And let's just say with that 8% average annual return, and I'm going to do a $500 increment increase every year. And it'll take, with an 8% return, it'll take 18 years for my 401k right here to reach $1 million. And the first $1 million is always the hardest. It really is, because the way the math works, right? But it'll only take, this is crazy, 7 years to reach $2 million and just 4 years to reach $3 million. And it's hard to reach the first million, but it gets to 2 million and 3 million a lot faster because of the power of compound interest. And that's a total of 29 years of maxing out the 401k or any type of employer-sponsored retirement account. So if you ever feel like it's too late to start investing, you're not too late at all, right? The best time to start is last year, the last week, yesterday, or today. The market is open right now. So anyway, you can download all of these spreadsheets. You just go to firesidechat.com/contact. They're absolutely free. I am a firm believer that all these financial resources should be absolutely free, because you can literally Google them if you want to. And I just like to organize all my resources so that you can actually download them on my website. And these spreadsheets, actually, you can go to any other YouTubers, they would have them. But most of them charge money on that, but I don't, right? And some of them charge like $9.99 for the package, and I get it. They want to find a way to monetize, but my way of monetizing is to, have these group coaching sessions and the private clients. So I didn't add any employer match to it. So there's an extra column that you can do, and when you download the resources, you can add the employer match. And if you have any, and if I add, let's say, $5,000 in employer match every single year, you see how I would reach $1 million in 16 years instead of 18 years. You see how this, $997,000, but you might as well call that $1 million, right? And that's pretty incredible just to look at it, just by having the employer match. The only thing we can't control is how the market performs. 8%. And I know I put 8% every single year. But over the next 10, 20, or 30 years, that's pretty fair, right? But what matters more is your savings rate. If you're able to max out your contribution every year for 18 years, and if you get an employer match, it's a matter of between 16 to 18 years with an 8% return. With a 7% return, it's probably going to be like about 17 to 19 years, right? But what I know is that it will continue to go up over the course of 10, 20, or 30 years. Because I want to show you this, the 401k history tab. This is the S&P 500 historical return. And back in 2001, and it's pretty amazing that some of you guys watching this are in your 20s, and you guys are way ahead of the game, which is really awesome to see. But back in 2001, the 401k contribution limit was $10,500. That's crazy, right? And this was also during the dot-com bubble burst. And so the market was down like 13% and 22% in 2001 and 2002, respectively. And 2001, when 9/11 happened, the market closed for a while and it went down, and there was a lot of fear in the market. And I know this is based on a lump sum contribution, which isn't exactly realistic since 401k is contributed by dollar cost average, but this also doesn't include any employer match. So just for teaching purposes, we'll just stick with these numbers. But anyway, if I just maximize my 401k contribution starting in 2001, the 401k balance would have reached $1.1 million by 2021, With the bear market in 2022, last year kind of sucked, right? The balance would have decreased to $930,000 or $932,000. We've seen several bear markets and corrections over the last 22 years. And if you look at every single line here, we have seen both green and red. And 2008 was the worst one. And I don't know if you guys remember, just let me know in the comment section below. 2008 was the worst one I saw. And I remember there was so much fear in the market from 2008 to 2010. With the global financial crisis, banks closing down, businesses falling apart with a high unemployment rate, right? But the market almost immediately recovered in the following years. If you take a look at these, right? What we tend to focus on is the year that we're in, right? And we just went through the bear market in 2022 and with high inflation and high interest rates. And a lot of people have commented on my videos that they're not going to invest as much in 2023 because they don't want to deal with what they went through in 2022. It's completely understandable. But with that logic, what that means is that people would rather buy when the market is high and just completely disregard when the market is selling at a discount. And I'm completely taking advantage of the low market prices right now. There's so many stocks that are literally selling at a discount at a low for a PE ratio. And this is a retirement account that I'm not looking to touch for another 23 years. So who cares what happens in a year if you still have that many years out, right? And I'm 36 years old. So imagine how long and how much more it's going to grow in the long term. So I'm going to delete all that and I'm going to show you just 10,500. That's all I invested in 2001, all right? With all the market ups and downs. By 2022, it would have been worth $36,000, right? With an average of 7.5% return and with an interest total of $25,000, and I only contributed $10,500, right? And keep in mind that this is just in the 401k, 403b, or TSP. What do you think I'll have if I max out my Roth IRA every year because that's separate from the 401k? And what if I continue to invest here in 2023 with $22,500? And then I'm going to increase it by $500 every year. And it's going to be 7.5% average annual return, just like the first 22 years. And let's just say that I start maxing out my 401k at the age of 25. Do you see how quickly it adds up to $1.6 million in 5 years from 2023 to 2027? So if I'm going to use the rule of 55, I could retire with $2.1 million in my 401k. You see this? I'm 55 years old, right? Just want to make sure that you guys can see this. $2.1 million with all the market ups and downs that we saw. And if I retire at 60, I would have over, let me see if I can do this. Let me see how much I would have. If I retire at 60, that's $3.2 million invested, right? The math does not lie. I am not trying to sell you anything. This is all what you have to do. This is not me. I'm not trying. You never hear me talk about, oh, you should invest in this, or I invest in this, so you need to do that. No, it's not about the market returns. Market will always go up. It's about how much you're going to contribute to your 401k, TSP, 403b, or IRA. That matters the most. I always talk about the savings rate. Savings rate matters more. If you invest $100 this year, that's a start, right? And if you make 100% return, congratulations, you have $200 total. But what if you had $22,500 invested, right? I mean, it's just math. That's all it is to it. But yeah, I plan to stay the course no matter what happens. And I can't personally tell you what to do because not only I can't give you, personalized financial advice, but you are an adult making your own decisions. And you can make your own decisions, right? If you choose not to invest in your 401k, you're going to find out later on that you wish you had done it sooner. And I hear a lot of people say that during the private group coaching sessions or the individual sessions with my private clients. Man, if I had done it in my 20s, man, I say the same thing. If I had started maximizing my contributions at 18, I wouldn't be doing any of this right now. I'd be sitting on the beach for sure. So we don't really look back, right? We want to look forward. But these numbers don't lie, though. And I know people who are just completely afraid of investing in the stock market because all the news that they hear. And we went through the dot-com bubble burst, the attacks on 9/11, the invasion of Iraq, the global recession, the housing market crisis, and the government not getting its debt ceiling raised back in 2010. And some of these things that we're hearing today on the news are some things that we've all heard in the past. We just have terrible memories of them.